Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, wherever you are in this bloody world. Now, came across this. One of the things I like about the Opera browser is that it has a nice sort of news feed. Let me show you. I'll just quickly. Oh, no, yeah, it's got a nice news feed anyway, and I'll show you that. I'll show you later anyway. But the point is, it's got a nice. You've got on the front page. You've got a nice news feed where you can see news from BBC, Telegraph, etc., etc. And I saw this title: Chess Contests. Chess contest offers free tickets to women. Every time it's always free tickets, always free this, always free that, free tampons, free bus passes for women, and so on and so on. Free drinks at clubs, free entry at clubs. In this day and age, amid long, hard struggle to address gender gap, why do we have to offer free tickets? Why can't, I mean, I just find it extraordinary that this is what we do. This is the result of feminism. This evil fucking bastard ideology. Seriously, I can't stand feminism. Because today it's a very dangerous ideology for men. Period. I keep saying it. Feminism has never ever been about the equality of the sexes. It has always been about female power, empowerment. Whether that means any good or not for the human race is irrelevant. The feminist movement is not interested other than gaining power in this world and being in power, which will cause the downfall of this world. Period. Eventually. So apparently this woman here is Britain's #1 female chess player and said there needs to be more done to encourage women to play chess. What are you doing? What are you doing? Are you actually putting your hand in your pocket and going on a road show or something like that, or doing something to get more women, to come into the game? A London chess competition is offering free tickets to women players in a long, hard struggle to close the gender gap. Why has this got to be done? Why aren't women flocking to these places under their own steam? Why aren't women wanting to play chess? I played chess at school when I was younger. I haven't played it for a few years. I loved playing chess. I loved playing drafts. Why aren't there more women playing chess? Why does everybody, when suddenly someone says there isn't enough women coming in and playing chess, why is it that suddenly everyone's got, look at breast cancer? They screamed and shouted. The feminist movement screamed and shouted and bellowed at the government and men. You hate women. You're a misogynist. There are women out there who are dying from breast cancer. You are doing nothing. So while this was being done, the rate of prostate cancer for men continued to climb. But because it's quite an embarrassing, and it is, the disease and where the prostate is and how it's got to be examined, probably this is the reason why few men came forward. I read of one guy, he was at work when they, and it was just the company had decided that they were going to do a medical, which is good. I think it's good if companies can do these kind of, medical checks on their staff for everybody, I think when I was in my company, there was little health checks, eye tests, and things like that. If they can afford to do it, not compulsory, if they can afford to do it, because it helps the company in the long run. If you've got people who use their eyes and their hands a lot on a daily basis for the company, it helps the company in the long run as well, not just the person in question who has that problem. So it's good if companies can have health screening, health screening for its employees. That's great, and if they can afford to do it, great. So this guy, his company offered that facility. He was found to have prostate cancer in his 40s, early 40s, and because they caught it fairly quick, he's doing very well. So I'm all for these health screens, breast cancer screens in offices, as well as prostrate and other screening as well, for both, not just for females but for men as well. It must be a two-way street if we're going to have, if men and women are in the workplace. While men pay £60 to be allowed to compete in the London Chess Classic, women and under 25s are granted free admission. So men are discriminated against. They have to pay to come into this competition. How else are they going to get any money? So they have to pay £60, probably to cover for the women who come into this competition. How is this fair? There's going to be a lot of men who are going to look at this and say, this is not right. Ladies' night needs to be banned from all clubs. They've got to ban ladies' night. But then hopefully young men will grow up and stop going to clubs and to pubs. Get their beer and have their beer at home rather than going to these places. Let women go to all these clubs and fancy shits and so-called wine bars. Let them go and take their girlfriends with them, and then they can do whatever they want with them. If they feel they're amorous, go with their girlfriend and take them back to their room and do their stupid nonsense. It saved the young men from getting a prison sentence or going to court, or falsely accused of harassment or rape. It's getting to that stage. This is just getting ridiculous. Honestly, really ridiculous. This stupid cuck, Malcolm Payne, the organizer of the competition and Telegraph chess columnist, said he was looking forward to when he no longer had to offer women free admission, but that it will be a long and hard struggle. You should look forward to it now and stop offering this free admission. Okay? You should stop offering this free admission. They should pay to come into there like everybody else and should be treated equally like everybody else. Because if you continue to do this, okay, and to the legitimacy of women in society is already being questioned by MGTOW themselves. MGTOW is an organization. The organization is growing as the years go on. All right, there wasn't a voice on the internet for men before. It was all the feminists that were flooding the internet back in the day when blogging was big. They were the big, feminist bitches were blogging big time. Now that we have YouTube, which is, men are flocking to you. Apparently, I think it's 65 to 70, maybe even more, of people that are on YouTube are men. This is great news, and MGTOW can really push its message out to all these young people. First and foremost, do not get married. Unfortunately, people have to learn from experience, and they will get married, and they will get burnt, and then they will say, "I wish I never got married." But it is what it is. Sometimes you have to go through that hardship to realize it wasn't worth it. He added the chuck. We had a record attendance for the women's competition in August. We made the competition more female friendly in a variety of ways. Why do you have to make it female friendly? In fact, why is it if women are not happy with the structure of how it's, why don't they set up their own female clubs? I'll tell you the reason why. Because women today, since the 60s, in the early 50s, middle 50s, don't have the cojones and the ability to set up their own clubs. Women before those times, the women's union, look at the women's union, still going strong. They set up their own club because they had, pardon the phrase, the balls. They had bigger balls. They were proper true women, not these bitches, not these feminist slags that are today expect everything to be done for them. Look at the women's Freemason. They were originally loosely connected with the main Masons, and they had a schism. I remember it was early 1900s. I think it was before World War One, and they parted company on bad terms back then. And the women's Mason is still going strong. And they didn't curl up and die or expected their club to be set up for them. They set up their own club and they set up their own rules, how they run. And I take my hat off to them. Those are the kind of real women of the past. The ones that came after, the so-called civil rights, who jumped on the feminist movement, that jumped on the civil rights movement back in the 60s, early 60s, are responsible for all the policies that are around today that have allowed the nonsense of trannies wanting to go into girls' toilets because they say that transsexuals are women. Really? What with their fishing tackle? They are women. How can they be women? But this is the mentally ill are in the government, and they're literally being allowed to run the government. But hey, it will help to bring the downfall of this civilization in the future, when the mentally ill literally takes over the whole of the asylum. But they're already in there already. A few of them are already there, and that's the problem. They're being tolerated. You have women organizing the event. So what? You increase the prize money. So what? One of the other things we do in the London Chess Classic is encourage women to be chess referees as well as players. So what? We have far more women arbitrators. That helps. So what? So why are these women not presenting themselves or setting themselves up, in the female clubs? I mean, it's just, women. I'm sorry, but there are things that women need to try and do themselves, and got to stop looking towards men to do this for them. They've got to do this for themselves. They've got to say, you know what? Let us set up our own women's tennis club. Let us set up our own football, purely women's only football club with our own money. Okay, let us do the hard work. But they always consistently expect men to be the ones who've got to put everything up for them. And when it's done, they're fucking ungrateful. They are always fucking ungrateful. Not enough's been done for them. This stupid bint here, apparently Britain's #1 female chess player, told the Telegraph, "I think it's a great thing to get more women involved in chess tournaments. We have a big problem with women playing, so anything that's done to get the numbers to increase gets my vote." What is she doing? She's Britain's #1. What is she doing to promote the game of chess? I'm sure she's going around to all the schools, especially the over 230 girls' schools that are here in the United Kingdom. I'm sure she's going to all those schools promoting chess to young girls. I don't know. But I'm sure she is. What is she doing to promote chess to women? Because it starts off in schools. That's where you've got to foster the game of chess in schools. There are over 230 girls' schools in Britain today. Here's the evidence. Girls' schools in the United Kingdom. Are you looking for a girls' school or girls' only school? There are more than 230 girls' schools in England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. Oh, more than 230 girls' schools. How many boys' schools are there in the United Kingdom? Let's have a look at that. Boys' schools in the UK. Are you looking for a boys' only school? There are nearly, but not more than 200 boys' schools in England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. So just under 200, just under. So there are more girls' schools than there are boys' schools. So what is this particular woman doing? I can't even pronounce her name. What is she doing to promote chess amongst these young girls? If she's so determined and really wants to see more females in the tournament. I would encourage more investment from clubs. So there you go. As I said before, these stupid feminist bitches expect men to consistently put their hands in their pocket to pay for women because they need to have women-friendly clubs all the time. Because if you don't do that, you hate women. When instead all it needs is for women to get off their backsides, like the women of old, and set up their own clubs. But they want men to do that. Clubs are not necessarily making it fun. Here we go. Listen to this. Listen to this. Clubs are not necessarily making it fun for women to play. It's a serious game. So, again, this is the reason why a lot of men don't like women in their spaces. Because of this kind of shit. Not everything is about fun. I mean, chess is fun. Playing the game is fun. That's the whole purpose of you going there. What, do you want disco music being played in the background? Do you want the floors and the walls to be all painted pink? The tables to be pink? Everybody to be wearing pink? With rose-tinted glasses? You know, what the bloody hell are you looking for? Do you want a disco ball up in the air? So it's, putting out light? I mean, Jesus H. What is it you're looking for? There is too much focus on competition, but not enough on social life. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Some of the best nights I had when in a club was almost a party setting. I've seen it done in America. They should have, this is, again, they should have ladies only nights. So again, this constant discrimination against men is going on. They should only have female only nights. Why should they have female only nights? Why don't you have female only clubs? Go and set up your own club. But they don't want to put the effort. They want the men to put the effort in, set up female only clubs at night, and it's all done for them. They don't do the fucking work. Men do the work for women. She said that the gap is particularly bad in England, arguing there's a lot of institutionalized sexism going on. So fucking what? As I said before, set up your own women's club. Then there won't be any sexism. Then you can run your club how you want to. You can have as many women in the club. Then there wouldn't be any sexism. It's when they say there's sexism in the women's tennis. That somehow there's sexist issues going on in the women's tennis. I don't know what the fuck that is. Why don't the women's tennis association split and go off and be their own association, just like the WNBA? I'm sure they will be a lot more happier, but they don't want to, because they look at the WNBA, the Women's National Basketball Association, and they see that in that association, in that women's basketball, since 1996, they have been struggling to get an audience of people to come to see their games. So now they're trying everything. They're trying to throw everything, including the kitchen sink. They're trying to use misogyny as a reason why people are not coming to see their games. A number of, I think 6 of their clubs have gone tits up. But it doesn't matter, because they will never be allowed to fail completely. It's in the Constitution, or in law, in American law. So the female basketball will never, ever, ever go away. The men's game made £7.4 billion last year. The women's game, nobody knows. There's guesstimates at about 100 million that have been made. And the women are complaining that they're not one of them is reaching $1 million per year. Which is what has that got to do with the NBA? Who, by the way, are handing over $12 million of their hard-earned cash to the women's WNBA. There will come a time when men will go to work and will have to hand over money to women from the work that they do. Women I'm not talking about marriage, I'm just talking about generally. I think there will come a time when women will not work. They will automatically get payments, but men themselves will continue to work and keep the society going, keep the roads built, etc. But women, it will be decreed, will not be expected to work because they have special needs. Women are already a protected class, both in America and in Britain and in Australia and in Canada. Already a protected class. And in Sweden. So this silly bitch continues to talk shit. Sexism. Now listen to this, because this woman thinks that she's far more intelligent than you and I, and that we are all dumb. Even women who are reasonably intelligent are dumb, because they don't realize so much sexism that's occurring to them in their lives. Sexism is so ingrained. Here we go. People don't know there's something going on. I know that what is going on. I know that the society that we're in today is being shaped to that of a feminized society, a matriarchal society. That is what is going on. That is what the sexism that is occurring against the men. You can guarantee that when the feminist movement fully gets control, fully 100%, and are able to control everything that goes on in this country and especially in America, the lives of men will be a real problem. Real men will survive with start. They know that they'll be in jungle warfare. But the cucks and the manginas will be killed off by the feminists. You can guarantee that. And actually, it would be a good thing. They'll be doing us all a favour to get rid of the cucks and the manginas. We men don't want them. They can piss off. So this is what this silly bitch has said. I'll repeat it. Sexism is so ingrained, people don't know there's something going on. Like 93% of men die in the workplace. 93%. So that's 7% of women that die are probably just travelling to work, their car skids off the road, smashes into a lamppost because there was a problem with the steering, or they fall down the steps by, going up the stairs to go and see the boss about some issue in their high heels, and they fall down the stairs and break their neck. Little things like that. Over 80% of suicides are young men. 80%. There are numerous figures that I had in my head before, and I've unfortunately forgotten them. Just how much of a nonsense. And this is all being perpetuated by the feminist movement. Everything is blamed on men. We're all born on this planet, both of us, and we're all trying to make the best of what was given to us. But the feminist movement is not satisfied with that. They don't believe that men have done enough for the comforts of women. Period. The standard in the UK of the women is a lot worse than the boys and the men. That's the most important thing. If the standard was far better with the women, they wouldn't give a shit. The porn industry. Women earn more money performing in the porn industry. The fashion industry, fashion models, they earn more money than men. And I'm sure if you continue, you will see more industries where women dominate in those industries. But they complain, obviously, because they may have, in the management, there will be quite a few, a few men in that managing these women, and they don't like that. They don't want to be managed by men. They want to be managed by women. Until they realise just how shitty some of these women, so-called bosses, are. So this cuck agreed, adding, the general participation rate in chess tournaments is extremely low. It's just dreadful in this country, and something needs to be done about it. There isn't enough data to say, but in other countries in the world where I go to chess tournaments, in France the rates are way better, for example. We are much worse. Well, this idiot has a platform of the Telegraph, which he could try and push the game out further. Article written by a woman. There we go. Men are paying £60 to participate. £60. If I knew that women were getting in for free, and I was a prominent, I wouldn't play. I said, no, I'm not playing this stuff. It's not on. Are they doing this in other parts of the world? Are they doing this in France? In France? In Italy? You see guys, in America even, you see guys sitting outside playing chess. Sometimes even when it's a bit chilly, they'll be sitting outside in their big coats, having a couple of games, go of chess. Where do you see that in the UK now? You don't see that much. The game needs to be promoted not just for women, but for both sexes. But No, it is always women that whinge and bitch. This is another example of what we see in this bastard gynocentric shitty society. You know, the feminist movement has eroded any moral fibre in this country. Won't be long before any morals will be completely void in the United Kingdom, and everything will be laid down at the foot of the feminists. But they don't give a shit as long as they get their hands on power. They don't care. Anyway, I've had my say. I'm just sick and tired. Seriously. Hold on a minute. Donald Tusk hints UK could cancel Brexit if MPs rejects May's deal. Whoa. Well, let's see. Anyway, very, very interesting. Because, you know, I'm just getting tired of this constant, barrage of this misandry, daily misandry of men. Anyway, we must pass this on to other young people. Young men must realize what is going on and what is being done to them in this society. Okay, we need to wake up to the misandry. We need to use that word more, like misogyny. I didn't hear misogyny. I didn't even know what the word was until about 2012, 13. Never heard of it before. Now it's everywhere, up and down. It's in the papers. It's on the internet. You name it, on TV. Now we need to start using the word on a daily basis. Misandry, the hatred of men. Thank you for listening.